We are wrapping up group play in the 2022 FIBA Africa Women's Champions Cup from Maputo. The final day of round-robin action as we welcome you to the second half of our schedule here today as Army Patrick from Rwanda are set to play against AS Ville de Dakar of Senegal. I'm Aaron Sanders, and live from Paval de Universidad Eduardo Mondlane, welcome aboard to today's game. This is Group B action. We'll take a look at the results. And right up top, the home team, Ferroviario Maputo, is up top, along with Alexandria SC. Both are 2-0, and both of the clubs that you're about to see are at the bottom of the list. But rest assured, all of these teams will be making the quarterfinal matchups that will begin tomorrow. So as far as this matchup is concerned, it's 3 versus 4, playing for third place. And we're going to be in for a good matchup. Once again, both of these clubs are 0-2. And one of these teams will pick up their first win in Group B competition. There are the referees. Francisco Tandu, Dorothy Okiach. And in a moment, we will show you the starters for both of these teams. So APR, Army Patrick, comes in shooting almost 38% from the field. And AS Ville de Dakar shooting almost 37%. Now we have the starting lineups for both of these clubs. Starts off with Dombe Baji, Elma Malu, Fadi Faye, Koni Nadal, and Fatoumata Traore. And for Army Patrick, we have Marie Imani Zabayo, Martine Umuhoza, Usoma Oizeye, Charlotte Omagwaneza, and Nelly Sanzabaganwa. And the ball is tipped. We're underway. We're glad you're with us. And final day of group action. Shot down low right away, and it is an offensive foul. Leading scorer for AS Ville de Dakar is Dombe Baji and Ndeye Baye. They both have 10 points apiece. For Army Patrick, it's Marie Imani Zabayo with 13 points per game. They go down low to Charlotte Omagwaneza. And AS Ville gets the ball back. Kadi Faye, who dishes is up top, and now they go down low. They try to go for the behind-the-back pass, but Malu throws it away. Down to the corner, the 3 is off the mark. With a quick fight for the ball, Dombe Baji picks up the board. We hope you enjoyed the first 2 games of today as Dow was unable to get that shot to fall. Jacinda Govin was on the call for the first 2 games today. We hope you enjoyed her commentary. Here's Sanzabaganwa, down to the lane, finger roll up, no good. Here's Kuna Dow. Kuna Dow, down the wing, deep down low, and a little bit. That shot is off. Final game in Group B action. Next game will be Group A, and we'll get down to those stats in a moment as the jumper from Omagwaneza goes. So that opens up scoring as we are a minute and 47 seconds in. Finger roll from Dow is off the mark. There's a three from Malu. That goes off the glass. Second chance opportunity, and that bucket doesn't go. So Kuna Dow came up with the offensive rebound, but they couldn't convert. On the other end, this is Umagwaneza. And she's off to the line. So Charlotte Umagwaneza, who is a 50% free throw shooter, will go to the line. Her best game was on the 11th against Sporting with 8 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal. And that foul was on Fatoumata Traore. First foul for AS Ville. .729 here as the medical staff tends to Martine Omohoza. And in her place will be Angie Akimana. And Akimana has shot 60% from field goal range in this tournament. Once again, both these clubs are 0-2. The winner will most likely get third place. Loser will get fourth place. Either way, it appears that all teams in Group B will make the quarterfinals, which begins tomorrow. First free throw up and no good for Umagwaneza. But she gets the second one to go. It's now 2-1 AS Ville. Oh, my mistake, 3-0 Army Patrick. Right wing three goes down for Ella Malu. Well, that's Kuna Dow, my mistake. We have a tie ball game. Nice screen from Umagwaneza, who gets the ball back. That rattles off the rim and out. Malu with a board. Overhead pass as they push it up the floor. Nice Euro step, but that wouldn't go for Dome Baji. Army Patrick from Wanda, AS Ville from Senegal. Battling it out. And final game of Group B action. As that shot from Usuma Obizeye doesn't drop. They will inbound the ball from beneath the basket. Foul was called. The jumper is off. They ruled that as a jump ball, so the possession arrow went to Army Patrick. And another setup for Umagwaneza, and she couldn't hit that one. AS Ville goes down a little the paint, and they kick it right outside to Kona Dow, who misses the jumper, but is able to get the putback. She started off from the left wing at the three-point line and was able to find the rebound. As Kadi Faye missed it, and Dow was able to follow through. Akimana driving to the lane. Whistle. Almost halfway into the first quarter. And it's AS Ville 5, Army Patrick 3. As Fatou Kane checks in for AS Ville. AS Ville in the blue uniforms, APR Women BBC in the white uniforms with black trim. And the shot clock violation for APR as they did not pay attention to the clock. So a turnover works out in AC Ville's favor. And Fune Sissoko is now in the game. And AS Ville de Dakar with the possession again. Elma Malu checks out of it. And here's Sissoko on the pull-up. The ball goes the other way. Imani Zabayo. Imani Zabayo finds Akimana right at the 3. Here's Sansa Baganwa driving right down to the lane, streaking through, and it's taken away. And the finger roll is off the mark. Bakuna Dow gets it back. Right on over to Sissoko. And just nice ball movement as Baji went with the right hand and draws the foul. 4:31 remaining in the first quarter. The score, AS Ville 5, APR BBC 3. So we saw APR unaware of the ball movement, and when it was too late, they tried their best to challenge, but not a lot of bodies right down to the paint. Both free throws go for Dome Baji. It is now a 4-point game. AS Ville with the lead. Nice screen from Sansa Baganwa. And the ball's thrown away again, taken away by Dow. Sissoko looking for a screen, able to break 3. Dow down low and can't get the jumper. APR 7th in scoring with 56.5 points per game. There's a 3, it's off. Rebound by Owizeye. And they'll work it out of the far side. 10 seconds on the shot clock. And it ends up with Owizeye getting the deuce. So Owizeye not only with the O board, but the bucket down to the paint. And now here's APR Women BBC. They have numbers as Sansa Baganwa kicks it right down low. They missed the jumper from right around the elbow. The Euro, and that is thrown away. Swallowed up by the defense. It was a 1-on-3 disadvantage. And APR BBC more alert in the last minute as they have been in the opening minutes of this ball game as Nelly Sansa Baganwa heads to the line where she shoots 71.4%. In that 89-68 loss against Sporting, she ended up having her best game with 8.6 assists and a steal. Fatoumata Diago checks in and replaces Kadi Faye. So APR BBC lost their opening group matchup against Ferroviario Maputo 78-45. That is the home team, incidentally. And then they lost against Sporting just a couple of days ago. The second free throw is missed from Sansa Baganwa. AS Ville de Dakar lost against Sporting and on the 10th 66-50, and they also lost to Maputo 62-53. They will count that as a 2 as Kuna Dow is able to get it down. Here's Umahosa. And Diego is able to take it away. The finger roll is off. Heartbreak City. As we go back to the other end, there's Nelly Sanzabagonwa. As they kick it right out, they stay inside. Shot is off. Whistle on the play. So we have a whistle on the play as we approach the 2-minute mark in the opening quarter. Another look at the replay. Appears that was off the ball. And we have a timeout called. With the score, AS Ville 9, Army Petric 5.
Abi, regardez bien. L'attaque ne serait pas sur ça. Une fois, deux fois, passe, dit, what shoot, qui enseigne les techniques. Il faut qu'on joue en équipe de confrontation. Mais vous,
If you've been enjoying this tournament and you'd like to see more of this along with exclusive additional FIBA content, be sure to follow FIBA all over social media and also subscribe to them on YouTube. I'm Aaron Sanders. Welcome back to Maputo as we wrap up group play in this part of the FIBA Africa Women's Champions Cup. Tomorrow starts the quarterfinal actions. Almost all the teams from Group B will be participating, and Group A, only the top 4 teams will make it, and we will have Group A versus Group B facing each other for the first time in the tournament. That all starts tomorrow. We'll have a look at the scoreboard from the other matches in just a second. As Usuma Owizeye heads to the line. First one goes. And this is her first trip at the free throw line in the entire tournament. Had her best game against Sporting with a double-double. 16 points, 12 rebounds, a steal, and an assist. And mind you, she is the 6th best rebounder in the tournament with 8.5 coming into this game. Second free throw is missed. They try to work it down low once again for Owizeye. And she was swallowed up by the defense, and they throw the ball away. It goes back to AS Ville. 9-6 is the score. APR BBC with the lead. Here's Diego. Over to Sissoko. And Diego is able to retrieve it. They go to the right side. She cuts in from the right, misses the jumper. She tries to put it right back up, and she gets swallowed by the defense. Head of the floor was Amani Zabayo. 3 is no good as Sissoko is able to pick it up. Ahead to Dow, fakes the 3, goes inside about 2 feet and gets the jumper. So now 11-6 is the score as AS Ville has the advantage as we are at the 52nd mark of the first quarter. Amani Zabayo's three is a no-go, and they fight for the ball, and AS Ville is able to tightrope the baseline and get the ball back. Here's a feed to Dow. And AS Ville is on a scoring run as we approach the half minute to go here in the opening quarter. 13-6 is the score. Here's Sansa Baganwa out to Omozohoza. Omozohoza kicking it right back out to Sansa Baganwa as she takes a tumble with 9 8/10 seconds to go. And there was no help on the offensive end for Zanza Baganwa. You have to understand with her trying to drive right inside, but there are too many blue shirts, and that's how you easily get fooled. You might have been better off going off for a jumper or just dishing it out, work around the perimeter. Nonetheless, Sansa Baganwa splits the pair of free throws. Down to three, and that three goes as Fude Sissoko closes out the first quarter with a triple and gives her team a 16-7 lead. AS Ville leading Army Petrik from Rwanda as we head into the break. We'll be back with more action from the 2022 FIBA Africa Women's Champions Cup in just a moment. If you just tuned into this game, AS Ville leads APR BBC 16-7. Or you could label this at the moment the Kuna Dow show. She leads all scoring with 11 points as her team has a 9-point lead. Meanwhile, for APR BBC, there have been 4 scorers, but Asumu Oizeye leads scoring on the other end with 3 points. As we are back into play here for the second quarter. APR shot 14% from the field. Meanwhile, AS Ville shot 31% in the first quarter. We just got underway as Fatumata Diango knocks down the triple to make it 19-7. Sansa Baganwa gets the seal from Oizeye. They're able to kick it right back out. Thought about the three, but didn't go for it. As the shot clock winds down, that is the second time that they ran out the clock without looking at it. Here's Diago, and that shot is short. With ASC Ville shooting 31% from the field, that pretty much tops their average from the range, as they're known for shooting 25% in the past 2 games. That's an offensive foul, so the ball will go the other way. That was Fadu Kane with the foul. Nelly Sanzabagonwa with the ball, and she was able to draw the charge, take the charge. And Charlotte Magwaneza, right side of the paint, throws it up, can't get it. Here's Kuna Dow, Body K, but she was able to get it to Fatomata Diago. Just no answers on the transition from APR. And APR gets swallowed up by the defense again as ASC Ville pushes the tempo. The fake from Dow. She tries to dish it to Kay, but Faye is unable to put the clamps on. Riamani Zabayo with the ball. Guarded by Diego. Omahosa into Sanzabagonwa. Right at the elbow. She's in trouble, now down to 5 seconds. 2 on the shot clock, they have to put it up, they do. The putback is good for Owizeye. Owizeye breaks the dry scoring spell for APR. They still find themselves down 12. The fake, here's Dow, no. Sanzabagonwa is able to feed it as Omagwaneza is able to hit. Sissoko over to Dow. Ended up with 11 points at the end of the first quarter. And now she gets the ball back. Yes. So you're telling me that she is on a scoring tear. Yes, she is. 14 points for Dow, 6 of 12 from the field, 2 of 4 from downtown. As Nelly is unable to get the ball to go, but she's able to get the rebound. And anytime you get the rebound off a missed shot, gives you a great deal of confidence. As Fune Sissoko is seen taking a swipe. As Kadi Faye was shaken up on the play. So she will take a seat for, we hope, just for a while. APR with the ball in 8 seconds on the shot clock. Sanzabagonwa with a fake. She dishes it out. That shot is short from Owizeye. Hits the iron, but doesn't go in. And that is unfortunate for APR as they were unable to find the open player. El Mamalu throws it in. Right down low to Trey O'Ray. And it's smacked from APR as it heads out of bounds. 9 seconds on the shot clock. 4 on the 24. They have to put it up, and they were too late. And that basket will not count. APR down 13 as we approach the 6-minute mark. Magwaneza rolls the ball over to Sanzabangani. Akimana with the screen. And Charlotte Magwaneza is unable to hit. Back down low, here is Traore. 24-11 is the score. Diego down to the corner, finds Kane, and 2 passes later, they work it down low. Loose ball on the ground, recovered by Sissoko. As she gets tied up. So APR with the possession. In jump ball situations, it will go to the ball, it will go to the team with the possession error. In this case, APR was able to get things to work out in their favor. This is the FIBA Africa Women's Champions Cup from Maputo. Group B action. Tomorrow starts quarterfinal action. As Imani Zabayo tries a drive and she gets denied, but she's able to go inside thanks to crisp passing, but that's thrown away. Back on the other end, AS Ville has numbers and they capitalize on it. As Dow continues her scoring, she has 16 points. Leading scoring in this half. Imani Zabayo tries to go to the basket, but wasn't able to get it a drop, but she was able to get contact and the foul. Incidentally, at the moment, Kuna Dow has 14 points. I want to make that quick correction. Substitutions are made. They're back in play. Sanzabangani travels, I believe. Nope, she did not travel. Instead, she was able to create contact. It appeared that she was in the shooting motion. We hope to get another look at this, and we do. Yep, that is smart. Kuna Dow was right at her hip. So she was able to get contact from that point. Shot clock winding down as Uizeye is able to give it up to Imani Zabayo, puts it up as the horn goes off. But nothing there. Malu streaking down the lane and finds an open Diago, who misses the jump. Loose ball on the floor, recovered by Malu. Here's ASC Ville again. Diago's unable to get the jump. Meanwhile, Sanzabangani gets the finger roll to go the other way. 26-13 is the score. Under 4 minutes until halftime. Malu to Dow. And Malu is able to kick it out on the other side. 7 on the shot clock. Malu will go outside Dow for 3. She has 14 points and unable to add 3 more to that total. APR has 9 turnovers. Meanwhile, AS Ville not far behind from them with 8. So there's been a total of 17 turnovers in this game so far. That has to change as we head into break. The 3 doesn't go for Imani Zabayo. Goes off the rim, rattles around the world on the rim, but does not go through. Tie up down low near the restricted area. And this time the arrow points in AS Ville's way. They will get the ball. Malu passes the timeline, and here's Dow. Faye back in. She was shaken up on one play earlier in the second quarter, and here's Sansa Banganwa all the way. And timeout is called by AS Ville as APR is able to get some quick baskets. And able to get the transition to work in their favor. So it was an 11-point game as we are less than 3 minutes away until halftime.
Évitez de perdre la balle dans la station.
26-15 is the score. Less than 3 minutes away until the half. And on that previous timeout, we saw that APR got themselves in a little bit of a scoring run. A 4-0 run, which led to the AS Ville timeout. Back into play. Here's Sissoko outside, and that hits the top iron. Fine from Zenza Banganwa over to Amagwaneza. The jumper is no good for Oizeye right at the charity stripe. And that goes the other way. Diago knocks down the triple. So a 4-0 run comes to an end. As AS Ville now leads 29-15. Oizeye with the top of 3. 5 on the shot clock. Oizeye right away with a jumper. The loose ball's on the floor, tying it up. And APR will get the ball, if I am not mistaken. Yes, they will. They have relied on the possession arrow 3 times in this game at the moment. And AS Ville de Dakar have no more fouls to give. APR has plenty of fouls to give as we approach the final stages of this first half, as we head into a timeout from APR.
Très bon. Tout à l'heure, il y avait screen écran. La fille, la 5 était là. Si elle fait ça, Diago, tu fais pas à pas. La grande qui est là doit mettre ici pied.
Sino, muito kwa skini ndio basket. Asuma, kwa skini pande kwanze. Tulikana. Yes. Wewe, ndino hano. Kama suru kubyumva. Sibyo? Kurikira be, ni achorota tulikana.
APR comes out of the timeout with the possession with 1:42 left in the second quarter. ASC Ville de Dakar with a 29-15 lead. APR had a 4-0 run a few minutes ago, but that was broken up by AS Ville with a nice 3 as Oizeye drives. And they get a whistle. Looks like the foul was on Fatumana Diego. Instead, they gave it to Kadi Faye. First free throw off the mark for Oizeye. Oizeye with 5 points and 5 rebounds, along with an assist, but unable to hit both free throws. 90 seconds until halftime. Sissoko running the offense. Diago almost got swallowed up by the triple team. Inside Kane, outside the 3 rattles off. APR with the tempo, and Sanza Bongon was able to pick it up. Down to a minute. Charlotte is unable to hit. That was Charlotte Omagwaneza. And Faye is able to finish it off with the deuce. So Faye is now on the scoreboard after picking up 3 fouls. Makes this a 31-15 ball game. Sanza Bonganwa go on the right side to Magwaneza. Anytime APR gets an opening right down in the basket, they will not hesitate. And Charlotte Umagwaneza knocks down the first free throw. Coming into this matchup, APR Women BBC came in as the 3rd best free throw shooting team, with 60% from the field. They were able to split the pair this time around. It's now a 14-point game, as the shot clock and game clock are nearly identical. So Sissoko able to get the screen right outside of Diego, who misses the tray. Down to 3 on the clock. Kick it down low and right inside. Jumper's no good, and that's the first half, as ASC Ville de Dakar takes the lead over APR BBC, a 31-17 lead as we head into break. AS Ville hasn't had a lot of chances at the free throw line, and Army Petrik has been able to go to the line but has only hit 5 free throws. ASC Ville de Dakar outscoring APR BBC 15-10 in the second quarter as we head into break. Stick around, you'll see the highlights and the stats and facts for the first half from Maputo. Stay where you are, we'll be back for the second half in just a moment. I'm Aaron Sanders. This is the 2022 FIBA Africa Women's Champions Cup from Maputo. Welcome back to Maputo as we have continuing coverage of the 2022 FIBA Africa Women's Champions Cup. At the moment, APR finds themselves down 14 against AS Ville de Dakar. It's a 31-17 game. I'm Aaron Sanders providing the action here for the final game of Group B competition. And later on, I will have Group A action for you as Costa del Sol, who are 2-1, will play against Energy BBC. That comes immediately after this game, so we hope you tune in and enjoy that game as well. Hope you have been enjoying this game as also. Leading scorer in this ball game, Kuna Dow, with 14 points, 6 of 14 from the field. For APR, the leading scorer, as a matter of fact, it is a three-way tie as Nelly Sanzabaganwa, along with Charlotte Umagwaneza and Umosa Uizeye, have 5 points apiece. The biggest key for the second half is to reduce the fouls. AS Ville found themselves in foul trouble with a few minutes to go in the second quarter. For both of these teams, it's a matter of the transition game. If you're able to beat them off the dribble and able to create your own tempo, then you will have an advantage in this game. AS Ville de Dakar will start the second half with the ball. Also looking at the stats for the first half, APR shooting 20% from the field, only 41% from the free throw line. AS Ville shooting 36% from the field. Didn't have many trips to the free throw line, only 2 trips. And they have been flawless on that end. But they start the second half with the air ball. And now it goes back in the hands of Sanzabaganwa, who has 5 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and an assist to her name. Amani Zabayo over to Sanzabaganwa with the teardrop. That is short. Head of the floor is Malu, who finds Diego, who dumps it inside to Baji. It gets the scoring going in the third quarter. It's 33-17. Maria Manizabayo, who celebrated her birthday yesterday. No stranger to the FIBA tournaments here. Shot is no good. There is a whistle on the play. Once again, Maria Manizabayo. She played in the 2019 and 2021 FIBA Women's Afro Basket. Ended up with 21 points and change against Ferroviario Maputo on December 9th. The team's leading scorer with 13 points per game. Free throw goes for Charlotte Umagwaneza, as Jordan Umahoza checks in. Just started the third quarter. Here's Traore inside and kisses it off the glass. Good night. She gets 2 as it's 35-19. Traore averages 9 rebounds and 8.5 points per game. That's near a double-double. Will she be the one to pick up the tempo later on in the game? And APR is called for too many steps. At one point of the game, there was a combined total of 17 turnovers. APR had 9, and AS Ville has 8. And now the combined total is 19. Shot hits the iron. There's a foul on the way. At the moment, APR has 10 turnovers compared to AS Ville's 9. Something to consider as we head to the final stages of the game. Dow's three-pointers off the mark. Akimana dishes it to Amani Zabayo as they work around the perimeter. And Oizeye unable to handle it as AS Ville gets the ball back. This is a battle for third place in Group B competition. All 4 teams from that group will make the quarterfinals. As that layup does not go in. Sansa Baganwa brings the ball right back up down to the wing. Monty Zabayo. Guarded by another number 5, Elamalu. 3 on the clock as they have to hurry up, and they do put it up. But they said they were unable to get the shot off in time. That is a 24-second violation. There were 2 games that were played before this matchup, and Jacinta Govind did an excellent job on the commentary for those 2 games, as we saw KPA defeating CNSS 69-59, and CFM defeated Sporting 79-70. So the home team of this tournament from Maputo doing exceptionally well. They're at the top of Group B with a 3-0 record. And they will stay there. The first 2 seeds of Group B have already been decided as that free throw doesn't go. First place will be Maputo, second place will be Sporting with a 2-1 record. And AS Ville and APR BBC are playing for third place in the group tournament. Once again, all teams from Group B will make the quarterfinal round as the jumper goes for Umaganeza. Meanwhile, in Group A, only the top 4 teams will make it, and Energy BBC has their backs on the wall on that one. They have yet to win a game in this tournament, so they're going to need a lot of help from Costa do Sol as they will play against them following this game. Tie up on the play, which means APR will get possession. This tournament started last Friday after a 3-year hiatus due to the pandemic. It's good to see the Africa Women's Champions Cup return on the hardwood floor. They will play on, and it works out in their favor as Diago's able to put it up and in. APR a little bit confused whether it was a shot clock violation or not. They froze up underneath the basket, which led to the Diago layup. So with that Diago layup, she now has 10 points, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. There's only been 2 scorers that have been in double digits. Both of them come from AS Ville. The layup does not go in. It rattles in and out. Kuna Dow leads the scoring with 14. She's the other player who has more than 10 points. The three from Malu is no good. We are now halfway into the third quarter. Magwaneza gets the ball back, fires it from the charity stripe, can't hit it. Rebound by Uizeye. She can't get it either. 2 chances for APR to get on the scoreboard, but they have been short on both of those possessions. Nonetheless, APR gets the ball back because AS Ville was unable to keep it inbound. Oizei sizing down Baji. Over to Magwaneza, who misses the shot. That was a forced shot as Diago going coast to coast and drawing the foul. So Diago will head to the line. The 5th and 6th free throws coming up for AS Ville. Remember, they haven't been to the free throw line as much as they have done most of their scoring away from there. Anjiaki Mana had the foul there as Diago goes 1 for 2 at the free throw line. It's now 38-21. Both of these teams battling for 3rd place in Group B. Nice screen from Magwaneza as Akimana is unable to get the leaner to go. AS Ville pushing up the floor and cannot capitalize. Ellie Sansa Banganwa. Throws the ball away. There's been a lot of turnovers in this game. On the other end was Sissoko, who was denied, yet she draw the foul. So Sansa Banganwa with the foul. And AS Ville de Dakar is back to the line. That's the first personal foul for Sansa Banganwa in this game. As she heads to the bench, Sissoko misses the first free throw. She's now 0 of 2 from there. However, she has a board, now 4 points, off of 2 turnovers. It is an 18-point AS Ville lead. Down to 3:30 to go here in the third. Sansa Banganwa, well, off the floor, but Magwaneza is able to get the jumper. 3 ball doesn't hit. And now here's Omani Zabayo going behind the back. Oizeye able to save the ball. Here's Magwaneza. Can't get that jumper to go. That would have been 2 straight jumpers. And AS Ville running up the floor, but unable to find an answer. Take a quick look at the stats from Charlotte Magwaneza. A double-double, 11 points, 10 boards, along with an assist and only 2 fouls to boot. That ball's taken away as Kuna Dow misses it. It dances right around the rim, but unable to find it. Diago kicks it to Traore. All alone, Diago. And now they get the double team working, and they get the ball right down deep to Baji. Layups aren't falling for both of these clubs here today. Amani Zabayo gets the banker. They'll count that as a long two, however, but it's now 39-25. APR has no more fouls to give. However, AS Ville has 3. Down to 2 minutes. 3 from the corner goes off. Amani Zabayo, and they throw the ball away again. An open look, Sissoko for 3, can't hit. And Usuma Uizeye brings down the board. Amani Zabayo guarded by Sissoko. Here's Amani Zabayo for 3, doesn't go. And that has to hurt considering that she was able to create enough separation to get the shot off. On the other end, here's Dow driving right in, kicking it out to Baji. Baji in with the double team, puts it off the glass, off the mark, tried to go for the rebound but couldn't get it. Umahosa over to Amani Zabayo, who streaks into the basket and puts it in. So Maria Amani Zabayo picking up 2 more. The belated birthday girl makes it a 39-27 ball game. Dow deep to Traore, and they kick it right back out of the corner. 3 is short, did not even hit iron. 30 seconds in the third quarter. He had an opening for the basket, but Amani Zabayo is unable to finish it off. Sissoko, nice give and go as they get the ball back to her, and she's able to draw the foul. Diago to Sissoko on the other end of the play with 16 9/10 to go in the third quarter. It has been all AS Ville since the opening tap. So we see Mugisha Uwera on the other end of it trying to commit. She overcommitted by trying to get both of those players. That was Diago and Sissoko on that give and go. But when it's a 2-on-1, there's very little you could do in that situation as Sissoko knocks it down. So Sissoko with 5 points now, 2 of 3 from the line. Will she make it 3 of 4? You bet. 6 points along with 5 rebounds and 2 assists to her name in this match. Shot clock has been turned off for the final 10 seconds. Nice feed inside. So we're down to the final seconds. Here's Dow, flings it, hits it off the glass, and that will do it for the third quarter. So AS Ville is 10 minutes away from claiming third place in Group B competition as they lead APR 41-29 at the end of the third quarter. We'll be back for the fourth quarter in the 2022 FIBA Women's African Champions Cup in just a moment. AS Ville de Dakar leads APR BBC 41-29 as we are set to begin the fourth quarter and this final Group B game before the quarterfinals in the 2022 FIBA Africa Women's Champions Cup. I'm Aaron Sanders. And AS Ville out-rebounding APR 40-34 in this game. However, the field goal percentage has a lot of work to be done, as APR is shooting almost 30%, AS Ville shooting 24%. That shot doesn't go, as APR gets the first touch of the ball of the fourth quarter, and not before stepping on the sideline. ASC Ville de Dakar lost against Sporting and Ferroviario Maputo. They have an 0-2 record, same with APR BBC. This battle is for third place in Group B. The three ball doesn't go for Faye. Amani Zabayo will take a triple, but that hits off the left side, as Kadi Faye lets it go out of bounds. We have a substitution for AS Ville. Kuna Dow is set to check back in, and she does. Meanwhile, Kuna Dow has been the story for this game. 14 points, along with 3 assists and 2 boards, all in under 29 minutes of play. There's only been 3 players that have scored double digits. That's her, along with Fadomata Diongo with 11, her teammate. And on APR side, Charlotte Umagwaneza doing most of the heavy work with 13 points and 13 rebounds. And that three from the corner doesn't go. There's Mugisha Uwera with the touch, the teardrop, but misses. And they will go to the possession arrow, which works in APR's favor. 8:27 left in regulation. So APR will have 10 seconds on the shot clock to deal with off that inbounds pass. They drive on a move from the double team as Maria Mani Zabayo took it in herself. And free throws haven't been the factor of this game. It's a matter of the turnovers to manage, as Maria Mani Zabayo misses the first free throw. An 87.5% free throw shooter heading into this game. She was tied at 10th with assists per game with 3. She splits the pair of free throws. Score is 41-30, AS Ville. And they have had the lead since the opening tip. The biggest lead was 15 as Elma Malu gets the banker to go. Here's Amani Zabayo, who kicks it out. Right back up top to Mugisha Uwera, cutting inside. And here's Umagwaneza. Usually Amani Zabayo is the leading scorer for the team, but it's been all Charlotte Umagwaneza with the double-double. Traore heading back to the bench, Dombe Baji, as you see on your screen. And Umagwaneza misses the first free throw. Nelly Sanzabanganwa productive game for her. 5 points, 5 rebounds along with that. And Umagwaneza knocks down the second free throw. Sansa Banganwa checks back in as APR finds themselves down 13 points. And here's Fatomata Diego. Able to retrieve the ball. Here's Fatu Kane on the jumper. Unable to hit as Baji fights for the board. She's double teamed and she throws it out of bounds. Next game, Group A action as Costa del Sol plays against an Energy BBC team that is fighting to stay in the tournament as the quarterfinal matchups start after today. Amani Zabayo with the spin, the jumper, but the miss. As Kane had the rebound, the baseball pass up ahead, and it ends up with Baji getting the layup. Transition game coming back into play as ASC leads by 14. The biggest lead was 15, and that happened in the second quarter. Here's Sansa Banganwa all the way to the hoop, can't get it. Second there, it looks like we were going to have another baseball pass, but luckily APR was able to, AS Ville was able to slow things down. Quick cut to the basket, and nothing there. Umahosa over to Sansa Banganwa. She signals a play as she tries to back down Dow. Amani Zabayo with 10 on the clock. And can you believe that pass? The triple team all up near the mid-range, but somehow, someway, Jordan Umahosa was able to be all alone and take the two for herself. Malu for three. Sure hope we could get a replay of that last play. That was very pretty. Jumper off the mark. Here's Amani Zabayo cutting right on the left side. Here's Umagwaneza. Gets her own rebound. Can't put it back in. It will stay with APR. And we have a timeout on the floor with the score AS Ville de Dakar 45, APR BBC 33. We hope you've been enjoying the action here from Maputo. I want to take a moment to thank all the viewers and hope you enjoyed our commentary. It is not over yet. This round robin may be wrapping up here after today, but it's just beginning. Almost halfway into the fourth quarter, AS Ville leading 45-33 over APR. It is Rwanda versus Senegal. And the final round robin game of Group B. Sansa Banganwa fakes, tries to drive, got the crossover dribble, 7 on the clock. There's a fake from Oizeye driving to the basket. She wanted a foul, but they were unable to get it as Fatu Kane was able to hold it herself. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Umahosa to throw it in. A quick catch and shoot. Amani Zabayo may be open. She isn't. They fire it at will. It's a shot clock violation. As AS Ville will get the ball back. However, they'll have to inbound it. Give or take about 75, 80 feet away from the basket. But you have to give credit to AS Ville. They are ready to run the floor. They've been ready to run the floor since the opening tap, and that has been well indicated by their transition game here today. And they continue on with a corner three. This time that one goes. Corner three goes for Farumara Diego. On the other end of the floor, Santa Banganwa try to look for Oizeye. But she was swallowed up by the defense. They were able to inbound the ball now with 12 seconds on the shot clock, 4:42 remaining here in the fourth quarter. The 48-33 lead equals the largest lead today. Last touch by Kuna Dow, who's had an outstanding game with 14 points. 5-second violation as the ball goes the other way. A problem for APR today has been clock management. They have been on the receiving end of shot clock violations. Now they dealt with a 5-second violation. That three from deep doesn't go. Santa Banganwa there with the board. And she goes coast to coast and finds Oizeye, who loses control. So if AS Ville holds on to this lead for another 4 minutes and 16 seconds, they will go up 1-2 and claim third place in Group B. Plenty of time left. However, there hasn't been much scoring runs in this game. Here's Dow. Corner three, no. Tying up for the ball was Sissoko and Uizeye. AS Ville will have another crack at it. Fake the drive, no bucket. And that's going to be a foul on AS Ville. That's on the other end of it. Farumara Diego with the foul. .33 is the score after this game, the final game in Group A action before the quarterfinals. That ball almost got stripped away, but Akimana is able to maintain it. Goes off the finger roll, rattles in and out, but doesn't go in. Here's Dow, who has 14 points in the game. She defers it over. 2 passes later, it's into Kane. Back to Diago. Now the near side. Another cross-court pass, the fake, the juke, the kick out. Here's Kane driving right in. Player loose on the floor, but it ends up with Diago putting it up and in. Now here's Santa Banganwa going all the way to the hoop, rattles right out, no good. Rebound, put right back up and in. And now things are picking up as Oizeye is able to get the deuce. It's now a 15-point game, 50-35, under 3 minutes to go. Kane over to Sissoko. And they're able to find a way for Baji to get the ball. Diago, another pull-up, and hits. Back-to-back jumpers for Diego, as they have the largest lead of the game. Baseball pass on the Mani Zabayo's three doesn't go, and it's taken away from Sansa Bangonwa, who's all alone for three. Can't put it there. Farouk Kane came up with the defensive rebound, but it's Uizeye who came up with the foul. Timeout on the floor. That will be APR's first foul of the quarter, as they are down 17 here in the fourth quarter.
Dans la zone arrière, Olivier le paye sur le attaque. Elles vont tirer. Maintenant, sur les écrans successifs, pas à pas. Switcher. Si l'écran marche entre le temps, switcher. On doit pas.
We are down to the closing stages of the game between AS Ville and APR. AS Ville, with the lead throughout the game, has not given up on it, and they have the biggest lead of this ball game, up 52-35, a 17-point game, as we are now 2 minutes away in regulation. Here's Diago. They pass the ball around the perimeter. They've been good with the ball movement in this game, as Diago can't knock it down. Sansa Bangonwa. Sansa Bangonwa trying to drive, goes in herself. Yes, and the foul. And she was the only one with the ball on the play. And they're not going to count the basket. They said it was before the shot. Now they do. Quick correction on the scoreboard. The jump hook is off the mark for Umagwaneza, who's also been very effective. Listen to this. Listen to this stat line. Can you believe 17 points, 14 rebounds, along with an assist? That is a good outing despite what the outcome may be in the next minute and 16 seconds. Here's Diago finding Baji, taken by the double team. And the first free throw goes for Dombe Baji. She's unable to get the other free throw to go. Her best game was 13 points and 4 rebounds. Today she has 14 rebounds, along with 7 points. That is not a bad outing here today. Dow with the steal ahead of the floor, and it ends up with Diago putting it up and in once again. All transition today for ASC Ville, as they will take third place before they head right into the quarterfinal round. Travel is called. Traveling is called let's go back to the 18 rebound performance of Charlotte Umagwaneza. That is the second best performance off the boards in this tournament. As of today, shot clock is winding down, and Fune Sissoko is able to get it down, and that will cap it off. As Sansa Bonganwa will dribble the clock out, and that is it. So AS Ville has defeated APR BBC 57-37. And AS Ville takes third place in Group B. APR drops down to fourth place. And after today, let's take a look at the standings for Group B now. Ferroviario Maputo ends up in first place, Sporting with second place, and AC Ville taking third with APR taking fourth place. That's how things shape out in Group B at the end of this game. A 20-point victory for AS Ville. Transition and turnovers were the difference maker in this match as we take a look at the final stats. APR unable to get a shot from downtown. 31 free throws total in this game. 16 have been made, so just over 50% for these teams overall as they head into the quarterfinal matchup. Group A action coming up in less than an hour. Costa del Sol and Energy BBC fighting in Group A competition. Energy BBC needs a win to stay in the race to make it to the quarterfinal matchup. But that's it from here in Group B action. Thank you for tuning in as we continue coverage of the FIBA Africa Women's Champions Cup. Final score, 57-37.
Muito obrigada, Início. Muito boa
We'll
tarde.
talk again
Moçambique
soon.
terminou então há instantes. Vitória para o AS Ville do Senegal. Vamos ao encontro do treinador Ousmane. Coach, salut. Comment s'est passé les matchs contre les APR de Rouen?
Oui, d'abord, je dirais Alhamdulillah parce que c'était un match important pour nous parce que déjà, sur les deux premiers matchs qu'on a fait, il y a eu beaucoup d'apprentissage sur ça. Il fallait corriger beaucoup de choses. Maintenant, ce match était décisif pour nous parce que, il fallait le gagner pour l'honneur, pour notre dignité, pour l'honneur du Sénégal. Parce que c'était important de gagner ce match, un match sur les matchs de poule. Surtout face au Rwanda, hein. C'est un pays de Sénégal, c'est par rapport au niveau du basket. Je pense que c'était important de gagner ce match. Autre chose, c'était aussi pour garder la troisième place. Il fallait garder la troisième place. Donc, comme c'est un tournoi à pas des quarts de finale, c'est à partir du premier au quatrième croisé. Donc, il y avait les deux enjeux. Donc, gagner pour l'honneur et puis garder la troisième place pour préparer les quarts de finale. Maintenant, nous sommes conscients que c'est un tournoi qui est très difficile. Donc, il y a de très bonnes équipes. Donc, il faut le dire, respect à tout le monde. Ce qui était important, on l'a dit au début, nous sommes novices, mais on apprend de match en match. On essaye de faire progresser l'équipe de match en match. Maintenant, ce qui reste, c'est les quarts de finale, c'est sur un match. C'est face à de très bonnes équipes qui sont habituées à cette compétition. Maintenant, il faut venir jouer sans complexe. Essayer de durcir la défense et faire moins d'erreurs, moins de pertes de balles. Essayer de se battre sur les rebonds. Je pense que l'équipe commence à progresser. Il y a un autre visage par rapport au premier match. C'est ça que je peux dire.
Merci beaucoup, coach. Vamos ainda ouvir, merci. Vamos ainda ouvir mais intervenções. Desta vez o treinador Charles do APR do Ruanda, que tem então mais uma derrota na compétition. Charles, coach, saluto. Qu'est-ce que vous avez les matchs contre le Sénégal?
Mais c'est vraiment dommage, on a mal joué parce qu'on devait gagner ce match pour avoir la troisième place. Alors comme on a mal joué en défense, même en attaque, c'est vraiment dommage. On aurait gagné ce match pour avoir la troisième place. Alors comme on vient de perdre le match là, je pense que c'est le match. Il y a le gagnant et le perdant. On a perdu, mais quand même, le problème c'est l'effectif de joueurs que j'ai pour le moment. Au lieu d'avoir 12 joueurs, j'ai 9 joueurs. Alors, à un certain moment, ils ont fatigué. Et tu vois, ce championnat-là, c'est un peu dur. Il faut avoir l'effectif pour gagner ce match. Alors, comme je suis le dernier dans notre groupe, je pense qu'on va voir ce qui va suivre au quart de finale.
Merci beaucoup, coach Charles. E para trás ficam então as primeiras declarações depois deste confronto início. Quando forem pontualmente 18 horas, teremos mais festa do basquetebol aqui no pavilhão da UEM.
And there you have it. Once again, the final score from the final Group B game before the quarterfinal matchup. AS Ville de Dakar 57, APR Women BBC 37. Leading it all the way in this game with 20 points was Fadomata Diongo, who stepped up in the second half, ended up with 20 points. And we look at this too. You know, an outstanding game also from Dome Baji, who came up with 14 points and 7 rebounds. Kuna Dao started things off for AS Ville de Dakar, ended up with 14 points, leading all the way for APR Women BBC. An outstanding performance despite the loss. Charlotte Umagweneza with 18 points, 14 rebounds, and change. So AS Ville ends up in 3rd place in Group B. APR Women's BBC ends up with 4th place. So looking at Group B before we sign off here today, Ferroviario Maputo, the home team of this tournament, gets 1st place. Sporting with 2nd place. AS Ville 3rd place. APR Women's BBC 4th. Once again, the final score, AS Ville Dakar 57, APR Women's BBC 37. Next game on the schedule, coming up in less than an hour, Costa del Sol, who is 2-1, 2nd place in Group A, will play against Energy BBC with an 0-3 record, last place in Group A, their final chance of getting into the tournament, because remember, only the top 4 teams make the quarterfinal matchup in Group A play. I'm Aaron Sanders. I'll talk to you then. Thank you so much.